What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn. You're on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. And hold on, stand by 1 second. I got to fix one. Okay, sorry about that. Let me make sure nobody hears an echo on here. What's up, guys? What's up, Mark, Tamala, Pamela? I've been running around with my head cut off. So I think you guys can hear me okay. No echo? We good? We good? Awesome. So today we're talking all about old school versus new school. And of course, I get stuck on this live stream because I've lived this mantra. And you guys don't know, I've been wholesaling for 23 years and my son's been doing it 9 years. As crazy as that sounds, but that's the truth. And what I want to do is we're going to take 2 hours today. We'll take a little bit more time and do a deep dive between the difference between old school and new school. And you can come to your conclusion by the end of this live stream, which ones you want to do. Now, there's some pretty cool old school stuff that works, but I got to be honest with you, the new school stuff, I get it. I understand. This is why Zach is my business partner, because he took an old timer like me and taught me new tricks. And if you're open to learning and you're open to making more money and become a better wholesaler, then we can move forward with it. So I'm going to get into the whole thing today. So before I jump into it, do me a favor. If you're new to this channel, freewholesaling.com, the number one wholesaling course. Number one, it's free. Number two, it's the absolute best. I guarantee it, or you get your money back. You get it? Like, it's been out there for 5 years. It's completely tested. It's made tens of thousands of people successful in wholesaling. And why do me and Zach do it? Because you're in a sea of confusion. And I know I went through it. I know a lot of you guys have experienced. So do me a favor. Make sure if you're new here, you go over to freewholesaling.com and we can get you started on the right foot. So now we got a little bit more time today. We can talk frankly about it. So I want to go over and update you on a few things. We'll talk about what we got going on, and then we're just going to get right into old school versus new school. So, and you guys are going to find out, like, if you don't adapt, you basically die. And if you're stuck doing stuff, like, you guys are going to go back to this live stream and go, you're eventually going to be the old schoolers. Remember, the game's always the same. It's just the players that change. And the people that don't change are the ones that get out of the business. So we all know wholesaling is probably the best way to launch any type of real estate career, in my opinion. I hate the word career, but real estate investing, you're being told by a lot of people that wholesaling is just, it's a beginner strategy. It's you just start there. That's not true. You can do it all. Yes. Can you do more things in wholesaling? Absolutely. But remember, we always represent the wholesaler, because go out there and talk to all the influencers that got started, and they'll all agree that wholesaling gave them the lifeline to be at their absolute best, to teach them how to do the marketing game, how I can get on here with you. Why? Because I've mastered marketing. But what I don't agree with is when they say wholesaling is, we're all cheap, with everything's free. They're the worst people in the world. They were that exact person. It's funny how they can pass judgment down on it. So I love anybody who sheds light on wholesaling. And you can do other things in wholesaling. I've never shackled you, but go try a fix and flip. I almost guarantee you'll come back here. You can do creative financing. It's awesome. You can do notes. You can do everything. But I will tell you this, those that skip wholesaling usually suffer the most. And I just don't think we have to tell everybody that you have to fund it to make wholesaling works. There's plenty of assignments going on. I'm going to share with you today, show you some wins we're having in our community, everybody under the free wholesaling community, and everybody that works with me, Zach, and my entire team. So without that being said, I got a really cool story for you, which I'm going to jump in. Well, let's just jump. Let's do this first. So we recently did a deal that I partnered up with somebody off freewholesaling.com, full disclosure. I'm not going to share his name on it, but ready for this? They took a probate deal, And a city I have no business doing business in. Apparently, I'm outlawed from there too. But people talk about like skirting the law with wholesaling. No, you can actually just read the law, and you don't have to wholesale forever, guys. But I'm telling you, it is how you get started in most parts of real estate investing if you want to be good at it. Because the ones that don't know what they're doing go out and fully fund the property. They do a full rehab. They take 6 months to a year and they find out they didn't make a lot of money and maybe they make 20, 30 grand, but they gave up a year of their life. That's not investing. That's just stupidity. And that's what most of the market we cater to. Wholesalers get involved in the deal and they package it up and sell the contract. And so everybody wants to kind of question how you do it. I'm telling you guys, I do these deals all over the country. I don't have a problem. Yes, I work with attorneys. I have my own attorneys. I'm not going to do anything that puts me at risk. But if you want to play completely safe and you want to, like, are you the type of person that stops at the stop sign fully? I know you don't, because I don't. And you get a ticket for it. Guys, you can sit there and write these, and most of these laws are just ridiculous. They're stupid. But I'm just telling you, if the DNC horrifies you, if you're scared you're breaking some sort of like law by writing an assignable contract, just go do like another business. I promise you, if you look at all the people under the spotlight, like what they did when they did it, I promise you probably could have found something. And we can't be hypocrites. I believe me and Zach bring more people to wholesaling than anybody else. Why? Because every one of them admitted they started in wholesaling. But somehow we get big and mighty and wholesaling is no good for me. Listen, I get it. You can do bigger and better things in wholesaling. I'm never going to crap on you guys. And I just want you to understand we cannot do that, because I believe people should have the same rights as I did when I got started, because it changed my life and got me out of like corporate hell. And if you subscribe to that, yes, do things change? They always change. But like, change doesn't mean you stop doing wholesaling. Change doesn't mean you have to buy someone's funding program. It just means you got to read the laws. You have to understand what your risk is. And listen, sometimes when you got nothing in the beginning, like, go for it. We're not robbing people. We're helping people out. You're just going to have to navigate through some of the rules like I did when I got started, like a lot of you guys are doing now. I just want you scared. So that being said, listen, the DNC is only a problem if you make it a problem. We're not selling anything. I'm not even under DNC's jurisdiction. But you might find a lawyer that might nail you, and you can find a cop that will nail you for rolling through a stop sign too. Now, I know one's a lot less offense than the other, but it's just getting ridiculous. I'm not telling anyone to break the law. But remember, guys, me and Zach are the only ones really supporting the wholesaling community. When we have a channel about wholesaling, that's what we talk about. I don't talk about fix and flip and all this stuff. Do I do fix and flip? Yes. I hate them. I hate every minute of a fix and flip. It's unknown cost, unknown time, unknown profit. And that just screams speculation. So I mostly do it for my personal deals. Every now and then I get talked into a project. I usually regret it. They're just not easy. Like, you do 4 rehabs, one's going to be a nightmare, I guarantee it. So working with contractors, the whole other thing. So you can tell I'm like hopped up on coffee today. And we will kind of go from there. So if you got a question, put it in here. And we'll definitely talk about it, because I got some stuff to say. So let me give you an idea. So I found a deal. By the way, the person who found it never paid me a dime. Never paid for a coaching course. But everybody else will tell you, oh, they're wholesalers are so cheap. They won't pay. Listen, we're cheap by nature because we're forced to. It doesn't mean we're bad people. It just means we don't have a lot of money. So I got started out with nothing. So this person brought me a deal. Guess what kind of deal it was? It was a probate. And when I did a probate, we put it together. There was more than enough money to pay him, pay myself, and my entire team. And this gets better. Check this out. I'm going to pop it up here. Actually, if you see this property, like, Rick, what do you have at an auction there? Now, I've never seen the property. I've never touched it. They're tiny little properties. It is the roughest house in the neighborhood. And Chicago PD is doing a film shoot there now. So they paid us a significant amount of money to do it, which actually we wound up giving to the owner, because I'm a really nice guy. I could have taken the money. I believe it was around $10,000, but we decided to give it to the homeowner because we don't technically own the property. And for those people who tell me I'm shady and all this other stuff, Where are you giving 10 grand to a homeowner? That wasn't even part of the deal. So if you see an entire crew there, if you guys want to check it out, it's going to be on episode 9, and it's really cool. I believe they do like I don't know if they do like a shootout or something like that. So they took over all the neighborhood. Actually, um, I had somebody up there that was helping me out take pictures. And on this deal, here's the craziest part: the house, it's a tear down. So I think I think we paid like 630, 640 for the house. And the crazy part is we're gonna make, I want to say, I believe it's around $76,000, and it was nothing more than an assignment of contract, getting it sold, marketing it. We knew the up value, and they're going to turn it into like a $2 million home. They're very, very high end homes. I have the oldest house. Somebody got this by doing driving for dollars. They found a probate. Absolutely amazing. So they're going to walk away with $36,000. So when people tell me that wholesalers are cheap and they don't know what they're doing, I'm here for you. Would I like every one of you to pay me 100 grand? Yeah, sure. But we'll get into that. Oh, we'll get into that because that's what everybody wants to do. But I took somebody that didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, never paid for a coaching program. They identified an opportunity. They brought it to me. I said, it looks fabulous. We underwrote it, put it under contract, had a buyer fall out, brought another buyer, and then they get a $36,000 check. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I got receipts for it. I do this stuff all day long. I've been showing HUDs like for the longest time. I just stopped showing them because it just gets like, do you think Michael Jordan just keeps showing you every championship? Yeah, he does actually. But I'm just telling you, the wins never stop if you work hard in this business. So I want you to understand, it's that simple. Someone saw an ugly house in one of the nicest neighborhoods, took a risk. It was a complicated probate. We got through it. It took our expertise, navigated through it, and here we go. And I sold it quick. Why? I don't know the first thing about Chicago, other than what I see on the news. I don't believe anything I see on the news. So, guys, I'm just giving you opportunity to show you again. Oh, no, but it doesn't stop there. I decided to go to San Antonio for the Super Bowl wholesale event. Uncle Charles put it on. It's phenomenal. Anyone that even has the slightest thing or credibility in wholesaling was there, especially if you're in the state of Texas, if you didn't go there. And they have this closer champions where basically newer people get up there and they show their skills. So they bring in all these inbound leads, PPL, all sorts of stuff, cold call, whatever it was. And I had the pleasure of going around the room for 2 days and just helping people close deals. Now, I'm not stupid, guys. I'm not a sponsor of the event. I was just invited to speak. I get up there, I share my story. I show my ultimate receipt, which is my son and my 4,000 deals. I don't know how much, nobody else can show what I do. A lot of smack talk at these events, a lot of, and by the way, I had a lot of talks with people because I don't go to these events. And boy, apparently I say a lot of stuff that I don't say, which I find absolutely ironic. I get it. If you're scared, I understand. You should be. But the bottom line is I go to this event. Here's the big part. I walk away with 4 deals. I just walked around the room and took deals. And one of the benefits of getting there is they're cold calling all these people and just doing it. And we're helping closing it. No, did I participate in the closers? No, that's like Michael Jordan participating in like the Pee Wee League. That I don't want to take the limelight away from people. So anyways, we go there. Me and Zach have an absolute blast. I mean, honestly, I thought my son completely stole the stage. Shows you how the new wave wholesaler works. And these events are changing, and I promise you they're going to change. But I walk around the room. Do you think I can go to a wholesaling event where they're actually working on deals, which I thought was spectacular, by the way? Did you not think I was going to walk out of there without a deal? This is what I do. It's in my DNA. I can't stop. I talked about it nonstop in the airport. I sat with people on my airplane, talked 3 hours. At the event, it was nonstop. I was out till 3 o'clock in the morning, man. And I don't know about you, but I'm old and it's late. So check this out. This deal right here, crazy property just outside of Austin, Texas. The lady has a 5,000 foot like mansion. It overlooks this incredible valley, the whole 9 yards. She doesn't feel good. Actually, one of my students identified it. Once again, she never really paid me a dime. She was an X-Leads user. We went through X-Leads, underwrote it. I made her call her right there. Isabel's helping there, and we're hoping we can put a deal together. So we're going to give her a creative financing offer. And if Isabel's on the live stream, she'll tell you, I spend time with people. I went in a back room for 45 minutes, helped her put the deal together, told her what to do. We called, she worked through it. We gave her a game plan. We came back with my staff, and the poor lady, she's older. She has a terminal disease, and she's like, Rick, I just need to move on. This property's crazy. And here's the best part. She's got 5 more properties. So I got 4. I got another, that would be another, I got 4. So that would be another 4. That's 8 properties to going to one event. So guys, I tell you this to instill upon you, there's always ways to get wholesale deals. You just got to use your ears and you got to use your mouth. You can't sit in these rooms and be quiet. So if I can go to an event like that and walk away with at least 4 properties, what's your excuse? Oh, Rick, everybody knows you. No, I put in my time, but I go hunt for those deals. They didn't come to me. I went out and I was walking around the aisles. People's call. I go, hey, you need some help? You want to help me? Of course, I'm using XLead so they can get better data, because some of the stuff they were using is crazy. But guys, there's deals like this everywhere. It's endless. If people want to show me a receipt for every deal I do, you're going to get tired of it. Do I just do wholesaling? Absolutely not. But I know my job is to get you started and not to judge you. I don't care if you have any money. I don't think you're crap, and I want to help you out. So went to this event. It's amazing. Great people I've never met before. They were telling me all sorts of fun things, which I didn't even know. But like, you guys are the only ones I listen to. That's why I don't do the whole thing. But I really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to go to more of them, because apparently I rattle some people's cages. Me and my son, I guess, invoke fear amongst speakers all over the world. But if you're scared of the truth, don't go. That's all I can tell you. So we want to help out. And we had one point in the audience where we asked, hey, who's gotten a deal from our free information? Half the room raised their hand. So I commend you guys for it. I think it's awesome. So let's jump in. Let's talk about old school versus new school. And let's do this. Remember, I'm going to go a little bit longer today, so we have plenty of time. Hopefully I can get you guys on the stream. So do me a favor, kick back, open your ears, take some notes. Let's help you out getting started wholesaling. So the old school versus new school. Now, let me tell you a little bit of story. I am old school. I started in 2003. I did hit a point in my wholesale career where I was making plenty of money and things got really easy, specifically from 2013 to 2020, 2021. And honestly, I almost said it and forget it. It was so easy to make money, and you could easily net $1 million in wholesaling. You didn't even have to be that good, because the market was so explosive. Inventory was so short. Interest rates were so low. But I want to teach you a lesson and let you understand this. I got stagnant during that time. I self-admit I lost accountability. Now, I made a crap load of money. I should have been pushing the envelope more, and I didn't. And so along comes my son to kind of wake me up, going, hey man, dad, stuff's changing. And you know what I said to him? I go, you're crazy. Us old schoolers got it all figured out. Now the old schoolers taught me the business, and then I call them old school. Now I'm the old school. So it's kind of ironic. And I had just listened to my 16-year-old son tell me, like, you need to change it up. We got to like mass cold call. We're going to do SMS. And honestly, I wrote him off. I'm like, why do that? I'm making plenty of money. It's really simple. I got it set and dialed to forget. He goes, no, we're going to do things differently. So I said, show it, to prove it to me. So once I taught him the fundamentals of wholesaling, I was open to the change, but I'm always like, you got to prove it. People talk. I know my son has the ability to prove anything because I've been around him his entire life. And so we went with it. So an old school like me had to take advice from a 16-year-old new school. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was humbling. And I'm here to fully admit to you right now that if I did not take his advice, I would have been a dinosaur like all the other wholesalers before me. What do I mean by that? Listen, I do direct mail. I did door knocking. I did groups and meetups. And I made plenty of money doing that, but I was never going to hit it out of the park doing that. And I could still make $1 million doing that. That's the really cool part. So take the good stuff. So I want you old school, new school. Understand, before I get into this difference, I want you to understand this. The fundamentals of wholesaling never change. They never change. And what I've noticed in the last 10 years is a lot of the people teaching wholesaling are basically telling you the fundamentals have massively changed. And I completely disagree. People are people. They're always going to have problems and they're always going to have situations. So you have to buy a property from someone who needs to sell versus somebody who wants. Now, somehow wholesaling got tied into let's go chase everybody who wants to sell. And like this, it's like this hybrid blend of a realtor. I don't believe in that model. Can you do it? Yeah, it's just not under the wholesaling umbrella. And so if you want to talk about wholesaling, I have a wholesaling channel. This is what we do, freewholesaling.com. It's all I'm going to talk about there. And I constantly get flack for, you don't talk about fix and flip, and you don't talk about innovations, and you don't talk about long-term rental properties. Yeah, you know why? Because they all lead to wholesaling. And if you don't get wholesaling, you're going to get none of that stuff. Now, I can do all that stuff, and I help people out all the time. But my message is clear and direct. If you can't figure out wholesaling, you're probably going to flounder on every one of the other ones. In fact, I almost guarantee it. Don't believe me? Go out, go find your favorite speaker and ask them how they got started in real estate. And I guarantee you 90% of them are going to say wholesaling. I rest my case. That is my receipt. And I always show you the greatest receipt. Other than doing my 4,000 deals, which I'm beyond tireless showing it, which I have no problem showing it, I show the greatest receipt of them all. And we took the old school, put the new school, and we took the same family name and put it together. Now, working with family is not always the easiest thing. I have 2 kids. My other daughter's wildly successful. She's in the medical field, and I want people to do what makes them happy. But I don't know, if I had 4 or 5 kids, I guarantee 2 or 3 would be my wholesale business. I'm the only person in real estate investing I find where like my kid has led my path. You know why? Because I led the way. So some people say they lead the way for their children, and some do it, some say it. I do it. And last I checked, the only guy on the stage that walks up there and has a receipt of putting that time in with a new school person. And it takes a lot to listen to a 16-year-old, but my son's wickedly smart. He loves the game of wholesaling, and he talks about it nonstop. He is the future of the business. And with us Ginns involved here, you have a path for the next 50 years. We're always going to talk about wholesaling. I don't care what advanced strategy is. We're always going to hang our head on that. And I want you to understand. So rule number 1, the fundamentals don't change in wholesaling. And people want to tell you, oh, they've changed. You don't have to market anymore. Good luck with that. You see, if you don't understand marketing, people are going to do it for you. And you're constantly going to be at a loss, meaning whoever derives the lead, like the gentleman that gave me the lead for the probate in Chicago, I gave him 50% of the deal. That's pretty expensive, $36,000. You know why? Because that's where the money comes from. So whoever derives the lead, you give them control. You can sit here and play this lead games. People will tell you, I'll get you a lead for $2. Okay, have fun with that. Good luck. You get them from PPL, PPC, direct mail. It's endless. But if you don't understand what an average return is and stuff like that, like people tell me all that, Rick, I can get a Facebook lead for $8 a lead. Okay, great. It's just a lead. It doesn't mean it's going to convert. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think they have a very, very long nurture time, meaning you got to hold their hands for a long time. And you get tons and tons of crappy leads. So if my lead's at $8 and I got to go through 1,000 leads to get one deal, that's an $8,000 lead. So don't play the cost per lead game. It gets out of control quick. And it is designed to part the money from your pocketbook into the influencer's pocket. And I'm just saying there's always a cost to a lead. And if you understand marketing, you'll know what you expect for return on investment. Let me give you a perfect example. Me and Zach have frowned on PPL for a long time. Now, I've changed my stance on it because I believe there are companies out there that will give you ethical leads for a decent price. iSpeed the Lead's one of them. Why? Because they do what they say and they're a reputable company. Why would I bid on a lead? Do I look like a retail person that's going to bid on a lead? I think that's a terrible strategy. I don't want to do business with people where I got to bid. Now, if it's exclusive or not, I get it. If you want exclusive, not a bad idea. But the bottom line is if you don't understand PPL, you don't understand the cost. So if I buy someone's program, they go, I teach PPL, that's fine. How much do I have to buy? He goes, I don't know. Just go ahead and see. Right off the bat, that makes me very uncomfortable because I don't know what my cost is. I went out to the event in San Antonio. I met wonderful vendors, which I'm definitely going to talk to. People that are new to the game. I'm open to it, man. But you've got to show me what the ROI is. And me and Zach are compiling that data. You know why? Because not one person in the last 5 years have given you any data on the return on investment on PPL. Why? They don't want you to know it because it's probably not good. So we want to change that. I get deals from PPL. It's not my favorite, but it works. And if you don't have a lot of time and you know how to talk to people, it's not a bad strategy. I still don't think it's the best beginner strategy. That's just my opinion. So PPL, I didn't even like when it popped up. I'm like, you got to be crazy. So the fundamentals, like guys, listen to me, the fundamentals never change in wholesaling. I need to go off market, direct to seller if someone needs to sell. You can get those three, you're in the right game. Understanding once you get out of that, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means the rules of wholesaling aren't going to work on that deal. So if I reach out to realtors, you are not going to get the ODN acronym. Why? Because it's on market. You're not direct to seller, and very rarely do they need to sell. Now, do I get all three of those? No, I usually get 2 out of the 3, and I'm fine with that. 1 out of the 3, it's usually a disaster. So fundamentals. When people tell you don't need to market anymore, you are not going to last in this business. Because even if you hire a PPL company, you need to know how much to spend with them and what the average rate of your return on your investment is. If you don't know it, they're just going to keep taking your money till you go, I'm done. I've given you $10,000. I don't have a deal. That's a terrible return. So understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. You've got to master marketing. You have to. And then the other thing is you have to be wildly resourceful. You are every department in your company, and it's never going to change until you grow. So keep this in mind, guys. Wholesaling game's been around for hundreds of years. I know everybody wants to tell you they invented it. I would love to make that claim. It's bull. It's been handed down even back in the 1700s. There's documentation in Washington, D.C. I've showed it to you guys before about a guy who went around and flipped paper. So it's over 250 years old, bare minimum. So people that tell you they invented it in 2010, I laugh. Listen, here's the story. The players change, not the wholesale game. The players change in the wholesale game, not the players change. The wholesale game is always the same. So, but it changes. And we're going to specifically talk about technology. And the reality, guys, you're going to adapt or you're going to die in wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, if I did not make the changes when my son came along, I would have been one of those old dinosaurs. You go to a meetup group and go, hey, you know, how was it back in 2003? And well, we're not going to do that anymore. So I'm just here to tell you, let's go through it. So full disclosure here, I'm going to go through it, and we got a lot to talk about. Zach Ginn is old school. Am I the OG? I don't even know what that means. I know it means original gangster, but like there's people who've been in the business longer than me by far. But like when I was in San Antonio, I think there was 1 or 2, some old timers there, which I love, but there was like, it's humbling knowing you're the oldest wholesaler in the room. And I didn't start at 18 either. I started later. So anyways, I'm old school. So let's walk through. What I'll do is we'll do comparison when we do this. Now, Zach Ginn old school, Zach Ginn new school. Let's call it the old school versus new school battle. Each one of them has their positives. Now, the one thing I know about the old schoolers is we come from a philosophy to spend time and connect with people. Now, I've instilled that same fundamentals into my son. He's just added speed and technology. You guys understand that? And that's why people like working with me and Zach, because you really get the best of both worlds. And who doesn't want to work with a father and son team that actually do what they say? And I can't find any other wholesalers that raise their kids to be wholesalers. Why do you think that is? Some people lead, some people preach. There's a huge difference in why you do it. Listen, I love a family that does wholesaling because it's hard. And if the father can do it, the mother can do it, the daughter can do it, the son can do it, that's a really good sign you're with people that actually do what they say. So I've never left wholesaling. Do I do other things? Absolutely. I own commercial properties. I own single family homes. I own not RV trailers. I own mobile homes, which are some of my favorite cash flowing assets. And I love this business. Now, then it comes along the 16-year-old in this business, Zach Ginn, and he just had a different way to look at everything. Now, what I want you to guys to understand and instill upon this is I instilled the fundamentals into him. Once he mastered the fundamentals by going out, putting properties under contract, basically negotiating them, and then doing the dispo on it, and definitely handle all the marketing of the list, he's like, okay, how can I make this faster? How can we do more volume? Now, you guys know I got ADHD. Like, it just never clicked with me. And to be honest with you, I've never really had a business partner. I've had partners in other types of businesses, but in wholesaling, it was just, there was very few people that could even wrap their head around what I did. And so I would have to go across the country and meet up. So that's why I like going to places like when I went to San Antonio. It was a lot of fun. It was enjoyed. Great speakers out there, phenomenal people out there. Eric Klein was out there, Pace Morby. I mean, tons. Henry Washington, just great people. And they're like, how come I've never met you? I go, I just don't really travel the circuit. And they're like, I hear things about you. I go, well, tell me what you hear. And then we talk. And then 10 minutes later, they go, man, you're really good at this. I go, I love this stuff. So despite what anybody says, I actually love wholesaling, and I'm really passionate about it. Who else would do all this stuff? So let's go and talk about the old school stuff first. And we'll get through it. So I know Russ Whitney's got me, but Russ Whitney also has a lot of major lawsuits dropped on his head. I don't. So, but Russ Whitney's, he's definitely old school. I just didn't agree with all his tactics, but that's the Cape Coral coming out in Florida. And back when I started, everybody was out of Florida. Now it's you hear Arizona a lot. Ohio's always been a hotbed for wholesalers. So, okay, let's get going here. Guys, get me distracted. So I'm going to give you an old school method, and then we're going to figure out what the new school spin is on it. And that way you can understand the philosophy, the fundamentals, and see how we got it better. So when I first started out, I did door knocking. Ask me why I did door knocking. As most of you start out with your first strategy, it's just the first thing you hear out of someone's mouth. And I had a gentleman that was a real old timer. I mean, old. And he goes, you're going to go out and knock on foreclosures. They didn't call them pre-foreclosures back then. They just called it foreclosures. And he'd give me a list and get the address, and I'd pull out a map and I would draw it all out. And I'd go up and knock on the door, and here was my line. It's so bad. This is how bad an old schooler was. I can't help but notice the pending problem on your property. They're like, what are you talking about? They knew what I was talking about. And I quickly learned that embarrassing people on their home domain is a really bad idea. You get spit on, you can get shot at, you can have dogs bite you. I've had a lot of crazy stuff. I've never been shot at, thank God. But I've been chased by Rottweilers. I will never forget that day. I've jumped fences in record time. And the reason I did it, guys, is I was hungry to get a deal. And it was the only method that was given to me. You can understand, there's very little cold calling because it's not because it wasn't great. You just couldn't get damn phone numbers unless you were AT&T. There was no texting. There was no real internet. The internet was here, but very, very new school form. Social media really wasn't available. And so I just knocked on doors. You know how many doors I knocked on before I got my first one? Over 60. So imagine how scared I was. And I wasn't a naturally outgoing person. I was talkative, but I wasn't outgoing. But I got the hard school knocks of how to talk to people very quickly. And I got to hear every horror story. But door knocking is where I started. And honestly, that made me a lot of money in my first year. But I didn't like doing it, full disclosure. Now, what do I do now that I teach you guys that you can still take advantage of door knocking, but you have a hell of a lot more options? Door knocking is very confrontational. You freak people out. And with the advent of Ring doorbells, it's kind of stupid to even do it now. It still works. If you got the guts to do it and you got a town you can do it, it is the best way to have a direct contact with someone, but it's very time consuming. And I would go on the side to say it's somewhat dangerous. Yeah, you're right. It's dangerous. So here's what we changed it up. Just reverse driving for dollars. This wasn't a technology play. So I originally only did foreclosures. So reverse drive for dollars, you do pre-foreclosures, same thing. You do code violations, and you do tax delinquency. Those exact three right there triples your list volume. And then you go and you put a door on to say, listen, just got a quick question about your house, Rick. Put on your virtual phone number, and you can go out and put out hundreds of them. Now, what I liked about it is when someone confronted me when I was putting the note on the door, you know, when you kind of reach and you make that choice, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? No solicitors. I don't want anybody here. I go, no problem. I'm just putting a note on the door. My boss paid me to go around the neighborhood and do that. Maybe you ask them, do you have a house for sale? No, get out of here. I'm going to beat you and let the dog out. Just get out. It's your escape clause. Now, when I did original door knocking, there was no escape clause. Like you had to take your beating like a man. And like you get chewed out. The guy's holding the dog back. I'm so sorry. I back away. So listen, I don't want you to door knock, but if you're going to do it, the reverse driving for dollars, you can multiply your pipeline by 3. I told you foreclosures, tax delinquencies, and code violations are my absolute favorite. If you can get water shutoffs or anything like that, that would be a great one. And then if they come out, they go, and they're nice and it's not confrontational, and they go, can you tell me more about it? Just go into it and talk to them. So it gives you more volume, it gives you more efficiency, and it gives you the escape clause. It also gives you the ability to have that direct contact with the homeowner. And that's why I like doing it. It's not a big technology thing. It just took time. Like we were so archaic when we did it. It was terrible. And so I really give a lot of credit for people who can go and knock on a door. Now, there are situations where if you have like a probate or some intimate knowledge and you got like a one-off deal, but like your buddy gave it to you and you have intel information and you think you have a good shot at it, I just go up to the door and do it. Because you're going to be chasing them with the phone, with the mail, with sticky notes. So there is a time and place for a door knock. If you have a very, very hot lead, I just go knock on the door. I'm just not a big fan of knocking on hundreds of doors anymore. I don't think it works. So next one, bandit signs. Woo! Good Lord, we come a long way since these, man. So bandit signs fundamentally is still the same thing that the new school method we teach now. We will put signs at a busy intersection where people drive by at a moderate pace, not a fast pace, and then they see your advertisement. We looked for high traffic counts. That's where we got it done. I had no idea where I was putting them. I just put them out, and I looked where other people had signs. And guys, I got hundreds of deals off bandit signs. Did it suck? Yeah. So I'd have to put them out in the middle of the night between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. My wife thought I was crazy. Back then, we used to have them printed. It was actually affordable to print a bandit sign. To this day, don't even pay to get them printed because they cost a fortune. And I would put them out. And I'd put them in the back of we had a minivan at the time because I had 2 small children. You know, one of them. And I got to tell you, the UV ink they put on those, if you sniff it in long enough in the air conditioning, it will knock you out. So if you print a sign, I prefer you do it with a truck. It's easier to get it out. Plus, the stakes you put them in absolutely destroy the car. And let's just say I gave up an entire car for bandit signs. It was that bad. I destroyed it. I don't think I got $500 when that van rolled in on the used car lot. So, but they work. And the idea was to put them where you would get traffic and get phone calls. And I had to deal with code enforcement picking them up. I employed more code enforcement officers because of my effort in bandit signs back in the day. It was brutal, man. And so I kept people employed. I'm contributing to the economy. But the other thing is it got competitive and other wholesalers started picking up the signs. Now, I was a little bit difficult back then. I had 3 particular wholesalers that would hire people just to go out and pick out my signs. So I decided to get cute. This is when I was much, much younger, and I didn't think this is not a good strategy, but I would put like a lithium grease or tar on the bottom or the top of the sign. And when you grabbed it, if you put your hand on your car is ruined. It's almost impossible to get off. I heard about people putting staples on them, and it's crazy. It's old school. That's what old school people do. It was like the mob of the bandit sign. And it quickly got outrun. A lot of it got outlawed. Actually, in Port St. Lucie, yes, you can probably attribute this law to me. You get a summons to go to court if you put out a sign now. Stopped it immediately. If you go up to Palm Bay, Melbourne, Malabar, all that, me and Zach probably employed 5 code violation officers. Now, here's the really cool part. I want you to understand. I did signs. I stopped doing them because I was getting in trouble. I overplayed it. I had to grow up and I had to like just follow the law. This is a part of a wholesaler where there's people are going to tell you, you have to follow the law perfectly. Listen, if you're broke, push it. I'm telling you, ask for forgiveness. But this is where the other influencers don't understand. Like when you're broke, sometimes you got to do stuff. You got to stretch something to get ahead. And I still believe sometimes you have to do that. I guarantee if you look back at the people that did it like I did, I guarantee if you had a camera on their back, they broke some sort of law or did something. But what I'm saying is it's okay for them, but then it's not for you. Listen, you're not hurting anybody, but you're doing what you got to do to get ahead for your family, and I'm fine with that. Somebody hurts my wife or daughter, I don't care what the law is. You're going to pay a price. Do you guys understand what I'm telling you? I'm just, this DNC, don't do this, don't do that. Like if you follow every rule, you can't do anything. So you're going to have to stretch some of it in the beginning, especially if you don't have money. Because unless you got a $5,000 marketing budget, I was in a room with 500 wholesalers. I asked, show me a hand. Who's got $5,000 a month to spend on marketing? Less than 3% of the room put up their hand. So I know I'm not crazy on this, but we need to help people out. So let's just shortcut it. Today we do online bandit signs, digital bandit signs, and we teach you how to do bandit comments. Wasn't my idea. My son came up with it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's free. You use AI, you integrate it in it. You have to post regularly, and you snipe people off other people's posts on the bandit comments. Why? Because wholesalers are lazy. The people who pay for people to do it, they don't manage the comments. And in the comments are where the deals are. And so we take bandit signs. Now, the funny thing is, even when my son decided in 2017 he was going to put out bandit signs. And I told him I didn't think it was going to work. And I want you to hear me out on this. He put them out. There was a lapse in code enforcement officers because they thought the Ginns went away. And my son went on a blitz that I was a little concerned with. And I made him pay for all the signs on his own. And he put them out. He would handwrite them. He goes, screw it. I'm not paying all that money. And he put them out. And then we would go around whenever he went to wrestling tournaments, he would put them out. And then he had to learn a lesson between, do I go to the championship round or do I talk to a motivated seller? Now, if it's a team sport, you got to do what's best for the team. But for yourself, I'm on Team Ginn, and I want him to win for the rest of his life. So it was okay to get a third place finishing because you didn't go to the finals because you pocketed $55,000 on a deal. And that's the wins. This is what we need to teach our children. We got to stop telling them what to do and showing them what to do. And that's what I do. But bandit signs, guys, unbelievable. Unbelievable. By the way, I saw the pit bull sign. I've rescued so many damn pit bulls. I should get like a medal for it. It's like the #1 dog left behind on a motivated seller's property, and the dogs didn't do anything wrong. I think pit bulls are great. You put them in the wrong hands, they can be problematic. People are the same way. Children are the same way, right? Okay, let's keep going. Here's one of my favorites. Realtor referrals. So, guys, who here in the comments are working with realtors to get wholesale deals? Who in here is working to get realtor deals? I mean, realtor referrals. I want to know in the comments because we need to talk about this because a lot has changed in the last 7 or 8 years. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to wait for the comments. I'm here to tell you when I started in 2003, it was Hatfield McCoy with realtors and wholesalers. We were told, you stay on that side of the fence, I'll stay on this side of the fence. And if we come close together, we're just going to be barking and going crazy. So I'm not against working with realtors, but I'm against a lot of the common strategies that are taught in the mainstream in the wholesaling space. Okay. So if we're truly doing wholesaling, I need properties off market, direct to seller, it needs to sell. It's the complete opposite of what's on MLS. I'm not saying there's not deals on MLS. I think you got a better shot at FSBOs and Zillow than you got going on MLS. Now, it takes more hustle and more drive to do it. It's super convenient. You have all the pictures, you have all the seller's information, you got the realtor's number, you got an ask price, you have everything. So in the beginning, it seems this is why you see so many courses on it. The reality is I've deep dove a lot of these programs, and when you get into it, guys, the success rate is so slim. I don't even know why people do it. Now, I'm talking about wholesaling. You guys understand that? Is there opportunity with that creative financing? Absolutely. Is there opportunity to buy it cash or buy it for a fix and flip? Absolutely. I'm talking about the lane of wholesaling. You can fight me on this. I'm telling you, I'm not going to change my mind. Why? Because I've done it. And I only accessed the MLS for a 3-year run. It was 2009 to 2012, maybe 13. And it was still a lot of work. So here's the key on it. And like, I'm going to put this up here. Lay put this up there. And actually, I love this comment. Yes, I'm seeking owner-seller properties. Some are realtor relationships. So the key is, it's an awesome picture, by the way. The key is, she says relationship. So let me tell you how the new school way is you're supposed to do this. It works. It's not about, I will tell you this, and Zach agrees with me on this. It's not about blasting every realtor in the world and saying, will you sell me your property for 70 cents on the dollar? And you send out thousands, because I get them all the time. I'm like, who in the hell trained you? This is terrible. And realtors don't want to deal with that crap. They find it annoying. We're back to Hatfield McCoy. Nor do they just want 1,000 phone calls off the MLS. Guys, I know a lot of people are pounding them with creative financing now, and I understand why. But like, you got a shot with creative financing on a wholesale deal. I think anyone who was a master of teaching creative finance would tell you it's probably not a great idea to go on MLS to do a wholesale deal. There's just easier ways to find it. Now, here's what I want you to do. I'm leaving this up for on purpose here, is they are trying to, I will work with realtors, but I have 2 simple ways I do it. Number 1, I take tired and old listings that have been beat up on MLS. How long? Minimum 90 days, preferably 180 days. And if it's close to a year, even better. Why? There's something wrong. Either it's the price, the property, the realtor, or the seller. One of those 4 things is wrong. Sometimes all 4 are wrong, but it's crazy how people do this. You've got a shot. Why? Because most listings expire in 6 or 12 months. And then if the realtor doesn't have an offer, you can actually be a hero and make them look great and solve a problem. It's still a tough uphill battle, because the second obstacle you have to overcome with realtors is they are taught in their realtor training school from NAR, wholesalers are bad. We're just bad people. We're not. We just think differently. And so they believe we're taking business away. What realtors don't understand is we actually provide them plenty of opportunity in business. They're able to list, get properties fixed up, get mortgages, and everybody wins. So here's what I want to do. Number 1, I'm going to find tired listings. Those are the only ones I would chase that are on market. And even then, you're not the only one doing it. It's very public. The second one is just have a relationship with a realtor. I learned a long time ago when I used to try to meet with hundreds of realtors, the best way to win them over was, hey, listen, I buy a lot of crappy properties. I buy properties that most people won't buy. Now, I get discounts for them, but I buy them quickly and I solve the homeowner's problem. If you ever come across a property like that, before you list it, try to figure out, fix it up. Sometimes it's better just to give the seller a net offer and be done with it. And then we can look. I don't promise. I would consider possibly relisting the property if I take a strategy to put it back on MLS. And then they all go like this. Do I get paid my commission? I go, not only you get paid your commission, I'll give you a bonus for it. Now, they already have this. They already know what the seller's bottom line number is. They have the rapport with the seller, and we put it together. Now, what most of you guys do is you go out to the seller, you start calling them, go, hey, I'm a cash buyer. I buy tons of properties. I got tons of partners. I got buyers all over the country. And then the realtor gets excited and they send you what, like 5 deals? And what do? I tried, it's not gonna work, or worse, you put one under contract. And keep in mind, there's no assignability clause. They don't want to do any of that. You got to put up big deposits. You got to do a proof of funds. And if you get past all that, they call you with 5 deals. You think they're calling you with number 6? And they go, no, he's full of crap. He doesn't do what he says he's going to do. The problem is you train them wrong. You see, if a realtor does 50 listings a year, which would be absolutely amazing, most of them do 1 or 2. If they just bring me 2 or 3 opportunities, I'm very happy with it. You see, we've created such a false expectation of the realtors, they don't believe us anymore. And so I'm going to get a relationship. Go, listen, if you get that ugly house, what do I mean? I've had a realtor sell a brand new house, and the seller calls them 10 years later. Yeah, I've been in this business over 23 years. And they go back and look at the house. They're all excited. They're like, uh-oh, they got 2 big dogs. The house is run down. They haven't done one upgrade, and they haven't taken care of the house. They go, listen, that's going to be hard to list on MLS. We're going to have to do repairs. It's not going to pass inspections. Oh, that's it. Let me call this Rick guy. He says he can get me a net offer, get me paid my full commission, maybe a bonus, and maybe I can list it if I do a really good job for him. Let me call him. I think it's what's best for the seller. It never hits the market, and it is a win-win situation. Now, I still have to go out there and convince the seller, but once I have the authority of the realtor, it's so much better. Do you want to do it that way, or do you want to call thousands of realtors and get the crap kicked out of you? I know which way I like to do it, and I'm just telling you, the 2 ways you want to do it. I'm glad Lay brought this up. Get the tired and weak ones and be a savior, which is still hard, or develop a relationship. Go, listen, I respect what you do. I want everyone to get full price, but when you get that ugly house, call me. We can solve it. Like, I can solve it, get the seller what they need, get them out of the hair, and maybe we relist it with you, or maybe you have a buyer, we can put it together, but I can get it done quickly. We give the buyer certainty. We'll give you your commission. I get a great deal. Everybody wins. Is that fair? And then they don't call you with every deal that. So here's what happens. You have every realtor go, I just sold this property on Fifth Street. It's $499, $995. It's so beautiful. White picket fence. Like, nah, I'm like, it's not my property. I can already tell. And she's like, you told me to call me for everything. I'm like, no. And then I went back and I changed my tune and I learned how to talk to realtors. Go deep on the relationship and just have them call you occasionally, and you will have a realtor for life. Realtors come across thousands of properties. Play the numbers game. Stop trying to take down every deal. Find people who need to sell. Get rid of the ones that want to sell, and you're doing this thing called wholesaling, and that's how you win in this business. Everybody understand? Awesome. Okay. So the modern day, that's how I do modern day. That one's never, in my opinion, it's not going to change. Now, you have texting. I would find out what their birthday is, anniversaries or whatever, and take care of them on that. You can always bonus them out with gifts and stuff like that. It goes a long way. You guys got the holidays coming. You got Thanksgiving. You got Christmas. You got Hanukkah. You got New Year's. It is absolutely endless, and you need to take care of them. That's how you do it. But like beating them up on MLS, this is why we get such a bad rap. Everybody understand that? Like, they're working just like you are. And why? Everyone's like, oh, the realtor wants to get paid. I know it's shocking, but the realtor should be paid. They have the relationship. Pay them, get a direct path. And remember, if you buy the property, say for 200 or 160, it's not that big of a difference in commission. And that's where I said, listen, if I got to make up on a bonus, I'll do that. Don't worry about it. So they're like, I just want to get rid of this property. It's an embarrassment in my listings, and I want to get it done. They usually do, and that's how I do it. Now, let's move on to the next one. Direct mail. Rick, how are you going to spin this one? I'm so old, right? Isn't that a joke? Like, I'm so old that I used to, Zach can verify this. I used to do direct mail in my house. Yeah, I was a cheap wholesaler. I love other influencers make fun of us wholesalers. I was cheap, but that cheapness got me very wealthy. And I believe all wholesalers should have that low cost inside, because you're trying to minimize your risk. And I love when people make fun of us. Like, we all have to start somewhere. I'm still cheap, kind of like, it's like a wholesaler affliction. I want the best price on everything. So I drive my wife nuts. I drive my daughter even more nuts. Everywhere we go, I always ask for a discount. And you know what? I usually always get it. She's like, I can't believe you did it. And then when you save them $300, they're like, oh, thank you. You got to do that wherever you go. There's some places you can't do it, like the grocery store, stuff like that. But for the most part, whenever I'm buying something from a person, I'm always going to find a way to get the nicest discount I can. So direct mail, I literally did it. I burned up printers. I destroyed my home on it. My wife will tell you, is surprised she even survived it. but it's crazy. Now, if we fast forward to now we have clearinghouses that do the whole thing for you. It's more cost effective. It's cheaper to use a clearinghouse. The whole thing's automated. I click a button. I have my artwork in there. I know the most effective mailers. And by the way, guys, postcards do the best other than probates. Probates, you need to have a full letter. And then now you have tracking. You can actually track your pieces of mail. And here's the favorite part. You see this cost segment I put up there? This is kind of the new wave of direct mail. Now, the problem is all these mail houses are trying to get you hooked on how AI is going to work direct mail. I've tried them all. I just haven't got a return on it. So maybe I'm missing something. It just that part hasn't changed. Now, the cost segment is I can do a $10,000 mail campaign. Check this out. This is really cool. And why do I say 10,000? Because that's where you usually get the lowest price. Now, I don't want you to go out and mailing 10,000 pieces of mail. But once you get some deals up, I've already shown you direct mail. I get a 5 to 6 times return on my investment. It's proven. This is why I believe direct mail trumps PPL, because I have the numbers for it. I have the data. Nobody will share PPL numbers. I'm going to get PPL number, and I'm working with iSpeed to lead. Plus, we got them as low as $24. Guys, don't fall for like $2 leads. You're literally wasting your time. If the lead's too low, they're basically hitting your greed button, and you're going to overspend and you're not going to get a result. So unless you want to buy that lead 500 or 5,000 times, I would go for the most cost-effective lead, which I believe iSpeed the lead and PPL has it. So why do we do that? Because I'm not greedy. I don't take the commission. Most of you guys are paying commission to your favorite influencers, and that's fine. I used to take them too. I just give it back to you. I give you freewholesaling.com. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm just going to keep giving you guys the incentives and the rewards. I do it with my cold callers. Everything else, me and Zach are doing it. X leads, the reason it's not $129, because we give you the commissions, which we'll talk about when we do that. Everybody cool with that? So the cost segment is I get pricing for 10,000 pieces. Check this out. I get a massive discount, and then I stretch them out over, I think, up to 6 mailings you can do with most mail houses. And then so say it cost $6,000 to do the mailing. I'm just doing it. And you did 6 mailings, you just pay $1,000 a week. So the idea is you're basically doing financing on direct mail, and you guys need to do this. So a lot of companies do it. REI Print does it. Big company, Postcard Mania does it. They all do it. So why the hell am I going to give you all my money up front? Which we'll talk about this, because I kind of put the risk on. And guess what? If the mailer is disastrous, I can put a stop order on it like a stock and just stop it. And I minimize my risk. Get it? Wouldn't you like to do that with your favorite wholesale coach? That's what you should do. I tell you, the direct mail, you can click one button. I still love direct mail. Direct mail still works. If you guys don't believe it, show me any other marketing source where you can get a 5 to 6 times return on your money. Direct mail has that data. It's not just me. Just so you know, direct mail is 70% of wholesale leads. I know you all think everything's online, but the truth of the matter is anyone who really does this sport of wholesaling, direct mail is a huge part of it. Go find the biggest one. I'm not the biggest wholesaler. I think I'm the biggest one that does them all over the country, but I'm not the biggest. There's some people that, like, especially like Ohio, where they do an amazing job. And like, listen, you don't have to go far from the people that have the most success. If they are winning, why wouldn't you just duplicate it? It doesn't make sense with me. Okay, so let's talk about lists. This is where it gets real fun, and then we're going to get into this. So Ben puts up here, direct mail is not $1 a piece. I don't know where you're getting those numbers. You're not using postcards. You better be sure your leads are spot on. So there's a science behind doing direct mail, and you have to be patient. You got to understand what you're doing, but I'll share it with you. Just put your comment up there, Ben. I'd like to be interactive. You know, we got to break this thing up a little bit. So let's talk about list. This is, and I was going to call this show is How Old is Rick Ginn? You guys can guess in the comments. I don't think my age is that big of a mystery. It's fine. Don't do it to a woman. List. When I started wholesaling in 2003, ListSource was the only one. It's a company owned by CoreLogic. They're still around, and it was wildly expensive, man. It was 24 cents a lead. That's right. You heard me. 24 cents a lead. And you had to have like some high-tech computer that had processing power. And honestly, this was like X leads at the time. It was the most amazing thing I ever saw. And we would pull it. We did some great stuff with it. So what I want to do right now is kind of do a little bit of a technology blitz with you. Okay. So ListSource is what I used as an old schooler. And then this amazing software came along called PropStream. Great company. I used them for 10 years, guys. I'm not going to discount a company that did not help me out where I got. And very professional company. I saw Bert this weekend up in San Antonio. He had nothing but positive things to say about me and Zach. And we're still a customer of theirs. And we still, PropStream's great. It's more general now. It's not a wholesaling specific software. And that's my challenge with it. This data is great. What they do is awesome. And I used them and I had no problem with them. And I still stand by that company. It's great. I just don't think it's completely specific to wholesaling, and they lack a lot of the features that we do. But reputable company. Honestly, I thought the entire world changed when I got PropStream. Does everybody understand that? I'm not here to promote PropStream. I don't think it's bad. I'm not telling you to change, but I give props due where it's due. It's kind of funny I said that. Then along came another company. They were like cutting edge, and we're going to show you how to do driving for dollars, and called Deal Machine. Now, cutting edge, did things much more advanced, but they quickly got complacent in what they did, meaning not going to change. This is how we do it. And here's the reality is, it's a good company. They're good people. They actually solved the problem, and the market needed it at the time. But the problem is it didn't really progress, and it got just buried in overhead, in my opinion. And the reality is, awesome driving for dollars app, but it's not really built by wholesalers. Sorry, it's just the truth. You have to have a wholesaler's mentality to build these things. Not that the wholesaler builds it, it just advise them. And we asked tons of times, hey, can you make this change? Can you do that? And honestly, they were responsive. And we had a good run with them. They were great. They're still a great company. A lot of you guys use them. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just telling you. The company's not built by wholesalers. You guys understand that? And I got tired of having 3 million screens open and training here and training there. Got to talk to this guy. Got to talk to this girl. It's absolutely crazy. So I had ListSource, Deal Machine, I had PropStream, all this other stuff. And then we got into list stacking services. And then you got into all the go high level stuff that's coming up. And then along came what? Podio. Oh my God, mind blown. This is absolutely crazy. Check this out. I don't know if this is true. Juan's saying Deal Machine's doing solar. Do you understand? That's not wholesaling. Why on earth would you ever work with a company that goes out of it? See, our target market is wholesalers. You know, the people that are cheap, the people that are just annoying. I love you guys. And that's what I'm always going to do. But I've been approached to do solar and roof. It ain't happening. Why? It's not my target market. I don't want it. It's a distraction. We all see what happens when companies have distractions. There was a company that did Dispo. Actually came out with a pretty good product. Cutting edge, very expensive, but people got traction with it. And what happened? They kind of lost their mojo, like all different directions. One day it's expensive, one day it's free, one day this, one day that. And like, I don't understand. I actually thought it was a pretty good product. I don't know them, but like the thing is, people lose their core value. And I want you to understand at 23 years plus and doing this with my business son, 9 years, I don't change. Okay. I'm not, what's the, these cheetah stripes don't run. Like they are marked on me. Like this is who I am. I'm not going to change just to make a buck. So if this is true, I have no idea. Juan would know, but like, listen, I don't really get into it. I don't really work with them anymore. So, but I'll give them props. They helped me and Zach out a lot. But we said, listen, we're getting tired of opening all these screens. This is crazy. And hold on, I'm reading comments as I do this whole thing. But along came Podio. And honestly, I like, oh my God. So I'm so old school. I used to use a company called Capsule. It was pretty cutting edge at the time, but it was out of Europe. And I couldn't get it to stick. Nobody would listen to me, anything like that. But Podio, awesome. Another, I think Podio came in 2010, 11. And so then everyone started like hiring custom Podio builders. And along come people paying 5-10 grand to build out their CRMs. And I'm like, this is getting crazy. Anyways, I thought Podio was just unbelievable. And I don't use Podio anymore. I'm old school, man. What's the point? Podio, then once again, Podio's big problem is they do general. They do everything. General. Yeah. And they're mostly catered towards real estate agents and people that do landlording and properties. And if you do that, you can duplicate other people's. So they had apps, you would buy them and you could duplicate them, you could customize them. But I don't use this anymore. So every one of these 4 companies I just showed you, I don't use them anymore. But I started out wholesaling, do it. I want to show you, you have to adapt or you die in wholesaling. Now, God knows there's 3 million other types of softwares out there. Obviously, it's not just X leads. And then came along the advent of skip tracing. And this is where things got just, this is where I believe the spokes broke in the wheel for wholesaling. I mean, we were paying a quarter for each skip trace when we started. You kind of, and there's still people out there trying to sell you skip trace. Guys, wake up. Skip tracing is just a service. Our single push to push X leads and everything we did single-handedly changed the entire wholesaling business. What do I mean by that? Guys, honestly, if me and Zach did not join the software business, you guys would probably be paying double right now. And I'm not kidding on that. I swear to you on that. Why? All the prices have held steady since X Leads has come out. Why? Because we're impacting the market. We're helping out the common wholesaler. There's a lot of gurus and stuff that created their own softwares. And trust me, it's not easy to do it. And I give them a lot of credit. It's hard. I'm not an idiot, though. I don't create all this stuff on my own. I just understand as a wholesaler, as long as I have a seat at the table and I can design it and tell you what my users want, that's all the influence I ever want to do. Do I have to pay a lot more every month? Heck yeah. But these people where they build it 2 and 4 years and then they try to bring it to market, they always get killed. I did that a long time ago and I lost $100,000. Why? Because I let my ego get involved. And I want you to understand you don't need to do that. So if we know that these skip tracing companies, and for the love of me, I don't know how they're just keep offering this stuff. Guys, it's included in your X leads. Does everybody understand that? So if we go, now we're getting in modern day. Let's talk about new school. We're done with the old school. It was a nice reflection back. That's how old Rick is. That's what this video should have been called. So now come along X leads. These 2 crazy wholesalers go, screw it. Nobody else is going to do it. We're tired of overpaying for everything. We're tired of not getting what we want. Let's do this. One platform, one charge, free skip tracing, built by wholesalers. Need I say more? Your e-signing, everything's included in it. A lot of you guys are out there buying go high level things and you're paying $200 just for the go high level side. You can get the whole thing in X leads for $97. So you want to figure that out. Now, I forgot to leave my old one up there. This is an old one I forgot. Meetups. Like I used to go to physically, I would get on a plane or I would go to a local RIA group and I would meet up with people. And by the way, I still love that stuff. I still believe that in the old school way. And I just showed you by me getting on a plane going to San Antonio, I walked away with 4 deals. I walked away with an amazing amount of friends, new ideas on marketing. And then I got to find out how everybody feels about me and Zach. And you know what? 99% of the people are really happy. 1% aren't happy. Let's talk about that, Lo, right? Why would someone be pissed off at me and Zach? I wonder why. It's crazy. Okay. Let me go through some of the new ticket stuff and then we're going to get into this. So, number one, obviously, the massive change is social media and internet. Probably the reason why you're watching me right now. My son's really good at it. It was not my forte. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to do it. Why? I learned to move forward with my relationship with my son and give him the space he needs to demonstrate it actually is going to turn in fruition and we're not feeding our ego, is why I do social media. I kicked and screamed like a baby, for full disclosure. So I'm not going to tell you I had like a miracle decide to do that. Now, doing that, it's really advanced. So we do have Discord. Facebook is like, that's old school now. This is how old I am. Okay, that came out in 2006. So you have Discord, which is absolutely amazing. And guys, if you're not learning how to wholesale or do real estate on school, you're way behind the boat. And I've checked out every platform. If you guys believe in Alex Hormozi, he's one badass businessman and he understands what the people want. And me and Zach are all in. In fact, we are number one in business making money for school in the entire nation. I want you to let that sink in. That's how good it is. In fact, most of our customers come off school. The old schoolers have not figured this out. Shh, don't tell them. Let them keep doing their old school chorus and Kajabi and their Facebook groups. It's cute. How do I know this? Because my business partner is extremely cutting edge. And I go to these events. By the way, I'm an old fart. Everyone's way below half my age. And I talk to kids and they're like, they're DMing, they're going in their school groups, they're on Discords. The speed is unbelievable, especially on dispositions. New school, AI. I sit here and go on, I'm not going to do a whole thing on AI. AI is the absolute game changer right now. AI is what internet was to me, what it is to you now. If you don't use AI, you're in big, big trouble. I'm just telling you. There's no way around it. We actually could not function our wholesale business without the AI. Remember, I told you earlier, inside of X Leads, 50% X Leads is built on AI infrastructure. Did I create the AI? No, I'm not stupid. Do I integrate it? Absolutely. The most powerful part is you can go through the whole thing. You can do inbound. So we got outbound marketing coming out, I believe, in the next couple of weeks. It's going to change the game of how you market to people. Now, listen, I still like the old school approach, but I'm not an idiot. I can't call 10,000 people in like 1 or 2 minutes. You're going to have that capability in AI. That's how crazy it is. Also, you can have a conversation on an SMS text and you'll never know the difference. And think about this. If you have a database with 3,000 motivated sellers, there's somebody in there that's ready to sell today. Are you going to rip through them every day and do that? Or are you going to let AI, are you going to put the workflows we've already built for you, put them in place so you can automate your follow-up? Now, I fought it. The guys, trust me, I fought it. There's no way, Zach, it's not. So part of having your son as your partner is, and having the age difference, we're 30 years apart. It's the best of both worlds. That's why you guys like working with us. Because I'm always going to remind Zach of the fundamentals of wholesaling. But Zach's extremely smart. And he understands how he can push the volume on stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I'm sitting in front of you, because without my son, I probably wouldn't have done this. You got to learn to get uncomfortable. But AI, guys, in every facet of what you're doing, in fact, the X Leads, if you have our Pro X plan, you click the analysis button and it just gives you a snapshot of the key points of that deal, if it's good or not. Now, the only thing that scares me AI is I want you guys to use your brain. Don't let AI be your brain for everything. People chat GPTing everything. Like, use your common sense brain and use AI to help you do research. Use AI to streamline your automations, especially follow-up. If you do not have AI built in your CRM, you are going to be outdated any day. You cannot keep up. It's like having a staff of 30 behind the scenes for you. Everybody understand that? If you don't adapt to this, you will 100% die. I fought AI, guys. It's coming so fast, so hard. In fact, a big part of my portfolio for investing is in AI because I know the future. It's not going away. The question is who's going to survive? I don't know. We're both going to find out together. If you don't have AI built into your CRM or help you analyze deals, I, you're going to be an old schooler like me. You don't want to be an old schooler like me. Come on. I'm an old school, new school. That's what I should have a shirt say old school, and it has a cross on it, new school. And it's not me. I talk to a lot of young kids. That's the beauty of being in wholesaling. I'm in touch with the youth, and I love helping. I mentored more kids while I was in San Antonio. I see the future of wholesaling. And they're like, it's got to be a better way to do these events. There's always a better way. It just takes a young, fresh approach to go, hey, screw how my dad did it. Let's do it this way. And I believe you're going to see the same thing with the days of, like, let me ask you, you ever notice an influencer is like, I've got this big workshop and like they have a big sales thing. They usually do one or two and then it just fades away. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of risk for them to do. And the only way they can make that work is what? How do you make a, if I get 500, 1,000 people in a room, how do I make that work? How do I cover that? Yeah. I'm looking at like some of your guys' comments on this. So, and I keep reemphasizing to you that we are wholesalers. When you want to have a wholesaler own the company, because you know I'm always going to give you a front row to the software. But anyways, now I lost my train of thought. So if I'm going to put 1,000 people in the room, what has to happen other than me paying a boatload of salaries, a ton of money up front? 1,000 people in the room probably cost you $300,000 to $500,000 minimum. That's what they're at risk. So let me ask you, if I'm going to put that many people in the seat, how do you think I'm going to make up the money? You got it, buddy. I'm going to pop it up right here. Hot ticket wholesale coaching. That's where you have to have a $10,000 platform. Now, if I had 10,000, all I got to do is get what? 30 people to sign up out of 1,000, piece of cake. And that's typically what happens. Now, I don't have a problem with this. They want to take the risk, put up the money. It's their platform. They should have the right to do it. I agree with it. I just think people are less inclined to engage this old school mentality of how we pitch. In fact, it's hard for me to even go to the event. I love meeting people in person. It's my favorite thing to do. But the reality is, like, right now, I have like 200 people watching. I can do it quickly and fast and kind of get the same effect, actually even better. Now, here's the challenge, guys. When we talk about this, we have to understand that when we talk about, so I love going to these programs. You meet tons of people, and like I love the networking part. I just get tired of the overplayed sponsors and the like the big giant pitch. You know it's coming, right? You're like, oh God, here it comes. And then my favorite part is everybody in wholesale coaching. And so we're talking old school, new school, and I'm going somewhere with this. Everybody in the old school says, give them lifetime access. So we used to call it lifetime. I never offered lifetime because I always thought it was a fool's gold. Nobody can offer lifetime. It's too expensive. It is used as a sales tactic to close you. If you sign now, I'll give you lifetime access. I go, whose lifetime? Yours or mine? And then they came out with this sexy word. Ready for this? This came from the coaching committee. We're going to make it evergreen. Really, evergreen? What the hell does that mean? It's lifetime. I go, why don't you just say lifetime? Sounds sexier, Rick. And that was the launch of those courts. And it's just, listen, guys, people have the right to pitch whatever they want. And I love it. But the reality is, I don't know where this lifetime pitch ever came in. So there's only a few companies that can give you a lifetime like guarantee, maybe like a John Deere. It's been around like 150 years. But having a new coach come in and give you a lifetime guarantee. So by the way, I've bought at least 30 lifetime evergreen programs, 100% failure rate on every one of them. Why? Business gets sold. They don't honor it. It's a sales tactic and a ploy. And if you want to sign up with people that want to sell you that crap, there's a point where I'm not like, I don't tell you get access to my product the rest of your life. I still have people at freewholesaling.com when we shut it down. How dare you shut that down? I have rights. No, you don't. You didn't pay me a damn dime. I don't owe you crap. And we've come across with, like, it's crazy. Let's move to the next favorite part about these high tickets while we're talking about it. Let's talk about forced affiliate expenses. What do I mean by that? So listen, me and Zach were a victim of this. Is you had to promote products that you didn't believe in, but they paid you. Me and Zach always promoted products we believed in. By the way, I always believed in PropStream, still do. I believed in Deal Machine, but like they're trying to go find other customers. I know why. All these companies, like, I believed in them, but the thing is, once they get their sales, they're kind of done with you. And so these poor influencers are stuck on this wheel of like affiliate sales. And so whatever, some of them are very good products. I don't have a problem with it. But the problem is they never come up with their own products. So they're stuck in the cycle where they got to do a high ticket coaching program. And then when you buy it, you got to go out and get PropStream. You got to go get this list stacking service. You got to go get this PPL company. And before you know it, you're spending a couple grand a month. You're like, oh, and then you got to spend $5,000 a month on marketing. I think that should all be told up front. And I think it's just really like shady for people to do that. Now, maybe you need all that products, but why don't they have a product already included in that and provide the value back to their members? Why? Because it's just easy. I send you to this guy or gal, and they give me a 40 to 50% commission. Most of you that are paying on your softwares and stuff, half the money is going to the influencers. How do I know this? Because I know it, because I've been paid on it. And I decide this is ridiculous. Why don't we just give the money back to the people and grow our community? And that's what we do, and that's what we're responsible for. So the next problem with the old school courses, ready? You can never see the course, and I got to go with a hard closed pitch on a discovery call. Now, I don't have a problem with a phone call, but the problem is the person on the other side of that phone has never, ever done a wholesale deal in their life, and they're trying to part your money and make you feel guilty. Do you want to know what the qualifications are for these programs? It's simple. Are you 18? Do you have a credit card? I promise you, that's the only things that would hang up not to close on that deal. Am I right? I know I'm right. It just until we step up, you know, people talked about getting an organization for wholesalers and stuff, which I'm not opposed to. Anything to help the business out, but they immediately want to attack with a lobbyist. I don't know if you have lobbyists work, but they're same thing as a lawyer, just probably more expensive. Why don't we go after the biggest problem, which is filtering these coaching programs that overpromise and underdeliver? Why don't we have a clear process? Refunds. What's your success rate? How many students you have? Oh, you can't look behind that veil. Here's the reality, guys. You can't see the course and you got to do a discovery call. You're probably going to have a problem. Not all of them. I'm going to give a few exceptions. There's some very quality people out there, but for the most part, if I had to put 10 coaching programs in, 7 out of the 10 are never going to pass the muster. Do you know why? Because 70% of the people that go through freewholesaling.com have already failed on a paid course. Oh, no. People who pay you pay attention. That's what I'm told. Then why do the numbers pan out the way they are? It's not always true. I agree if someone pays, they have a higher likelihood of succeeding because they have something on the line, but it doesn't guarantee success. And you don't get any transparencies in the numbers. See, you got to understand this. When you buy an expensive coaching program, you're taking the risk, not the coach. You have no recourse if it doesn't work out. Think about this. Say if somebody has a $10,000 coaching program, maybe it's worth it or not. I don't know. You guys determine that. And you pay them 10 grand. You're super excited. They hit you at the absolute peak time in your life. And then you find out a month later, it's not even close to what you cracked up to be. Let me ask you, tell me in the comments, can you get your money back? Question or not? No. Albert wants to know if this is recorded. It's not. It's live. So funny. I still get that people think I'm like scamming them. I'm like, I don't do the fake recording. So does everybody understand that? Once you pay the coach, they know it. This is the old school way. This is where I'm going with this. Okay. So let's be honest. Most programs, for the most part, because I know most of them, and they're not bad. They're not inherently bad. They're just old school teaching methods. Now, when you sign up for most programs, usually over 3K or more, they go as high as $100,000. You maybe get one or two coaches, probably in the same business, and you get like one, maybe two marketing techniques, and you don't get anything else. What else do you not get? Absolutely no. There's no meetups. Everything's going to be, you get your one Zoom. Here's your Zoom. And a long time ago, I fell victim to a lot of this on both sides of the camera. I go, man, this stuff sucks. Everyone's doing the exact same thing. And remember, I always told you, I suffer from an affliction called ADHD. At the time, nobody labeled it. Nobody knew what was going on with me. I just said, you're different. He asks a lot of questions and he never stops. And he has a hard time doing like 5 things at once. So I was told I was absolutely crazy what I'm doing. I believe that the current coaching crisis in wholesaling is just not, it's beyond broken. And the younger kids, the newer kids coming in are now doubling down on it. And now they're finding out it's not working out. So we have that last bit of old schoolers hanging on. You got to charge big fees to get people serious. I've already disproved that doesn't work. I was told doing freewholesaling.com would be an absolute epic disaster by the biggest people in the industry. I wonder if they'd take that back. Oh, no. Our egos are too big to do that. What else? No physical meetups. You get hollowed out courses, old courses regurgitated. I do a free course, and every other year, me and Zach completely update it. Do I have to? No, but my damn name's on it. And the Ginn name don't run. We show up to events. We don't chicken down from anybody. But like, I would guarantee you, go look in the course that you're doing now. Tell me how old it is. When was it recorded? Stuff's changed, man. We are in massive new school right now. So if you're learning from old, outdated courses, you are not going to last. It's not going to help you out. And then if you paid a big ticket price, they're going to wait till you fade and you go away, and they're just going to keep signing up more people at their 90 to 95% failure rate. So here's the other problem we have with it. There's absolutely no expectations defined. They tell you to show up, listen to the information, take instruction, and move forward. In fact, there's people teaching all the gurus right now that just it's purely instruction, and you're not allowed to like give feedback or anything like that. They might have even a Q&A and tell you, we will only take predetermined questions. Once again, this is a complete manipulation by it. So if you understand this, I want you to grasp this concept, guys. And I want you to hear me clearly on this. I'm talking old school, new school, because I believe that there's a new way to teach people. Now, me and Zach have already shown the free way if you want to do that. Not everyone's cut out for free. I fully admit that. Okay? The next part with the old school coaching programs is this. There's absolutely no data provided to you. You have no idea how many members are in the community. You have no idea what the success rate is. And how many people on here know what the damn refund policy is other than you don't get a refund? There's nothing clear. Oh, what happens if I can't get something done? I don't know. You already paid me. I'm going to call it a day. Do you know, in fact, so Mark, let's put this up here. You can learn anything you want for free. I can teach you how to be a rocket scientist for free. When you pay, you're more committed. Do you really think so? Then why is there a 95% failure rate, Mark, on paid programs? Tell me. What are you, like 2% more committed? It's just the truth. It's just the truth. So why does the industry have a 95% failure rate? If this is true, then those people should be hitting it out of the park. The reality is they bought the hype, they get the course, they're embarrassed, they try to suck it up and make it work, and they're still using old school techniques. Let me put up your next comment. 80% of the information can be learned for free. People who pay all the right steps in the right order with hand-holding. I'm not sure if you're referring to mine or not, like on that. But what I'm telling you is a lot of people go, you pay for what you get for. Very dangerous in wholesaling. And the gurus know that, and that's why you have courses. Listen, I watch people on stage selling $30,000 courses. People like running in the back of the room. Good luck. Good luck. No idea how long the person's been wholesaling, see them on the internet, but suddenly they're the master magician. You guys get like, it's crazy. Here's the best part is you get no process when you sign these programs, you get no team and you get one Zoom call. Who's a victim of that in here? That's old school teaching. We got to stop doing this stuff. You have no accountability. There's no KPIs. Guys, come on. Who's doing this? Let me ask you, who is in these programs? Because you all think about like this is what it is. So Mark, listen, actually, I love when people come on. Actually, I'd love to bring you on here. Please put in the comments what the cost of your program is. Tell me how many people on your team is. Tell me what your refund policy and tell me what your success rate is. I know it's a big ask, Mark. I'm willing to bet you won't put it on there because I've asked every person in the business to kind of post that. I've even hinted around if we did a national organization, we would have a section for real estate coaches and we would have transparencies, kind of like how you have a label. So go ahead and put it up here right now. I'll put it up right up on the screen for you. And by the way, I'm not picking on Mark. I think I love when people, we need to have conversations. We need to have conversations and get them going. But, and Mark, tell me how long you've been in the business too. That would be helpful. So listen, the only person who can guarantee your success. So here we go. And Mark, I'm not picking on you. I'm actually giving you credit. Mark has a course on here, $8 Canadian dollars. So whatever the translation is. Mark, do you teach it specifically? I assume that's Canadian dollars. Am I right? Hopefully it is. So Mark's being a good sport here. But like, here's one of my challenges. I'm Mike, like you got to be able to take us with it. 3 years is not enough to be teaching this business. I'm sorry. It's not. I wouldn't let Zach teach this business after 3 years. Honestly, I believe I believe everybody should have 5 years under their belt. But if you've done something phenomenal and you're the exception, I will give you the exception on it. But so here's right. So Mark teaches in Canada, which is really cool. I do know one other Canadian flipper. You probably know who I'm talking about, Mark. He's got an infamous video out there that's not very flattering, but so he's in another country. So maybe I need to connect with him and teach people how to do it in Canada. I know it's different. I know how they do mortgages there. Very, very different. But Mark, get in the game, get as many deals as you can get done. And then if you have the proof, people will follow you and do it anyways. So I'm talking specifically in the United States. I'm not picking on Mark, not even in the slightest. So, so let's talk about this. I want to show you guys something. Let me show you here. So if you're saying, okay, Rick, how do we do a new school? Like, okay, I get it. People are doing the old programs. It's kind of ridiculous. What's the best way to move forward with that? So Ken has cooked. So put up the statute. You can't just make blanket statements. Put up the statute. So you do have some truth to it, but it's more than what you're putting up there. I'm just being honest with you. So, so Ben says here, if you were a high ticket closer, why would you teach? Wouldn't you be? I agree. That's why I don't do it. And here's the thing is, one of the best people is that's one of the greatest. Think about Tony Robbins. You know, he doesn't have closers. He just puts the price up here. You pay it. If you know what he's about and you commit to it, you do it. Do I endorse every one of his programs? No. He couldn't teach wholesaling if he tried. And by the way, I know the person that taught him wholesaling. They sat down with him and spent 2 days with him because he says, I get more wholesalers that come through my program. Like one of the biggest things. So that's a compliment to what we do. But wholesalers don't want to pay $10,000 to learn wholesaling from someone who's never wholesaled. Most of you are paying people that just are using very old school programs. So what I want to do is kind of share my screen with you. Let me kind of show you, like if you guys aren't overly familiar with school and stuff like that, I want to show you something just to give you an idea. So what should your program look like? Let me give you some ideas. I've learned a thing or two over the last 23 years, and it's not the instruction that's killing you. It's not like they have the connection. I know the price tag is killing you, but for the most part is, do you have instruction like this? Look at this. This is what we do in our programs. We go through extreme detail day by day to figure out what you need to do. Now, this is a newer program that we put out. But guys, let me ask you, does your program have a check like this? Does it have a video? Every day I tell you what to do. And we keep eliminating till we get you rid of your excuses and make you 100% accountable. As put in the comments, tell me if you guys are doing stuff like this, because I know I am. And if you're not doing stuff like this, do you get your Zoom link? You get a couple videos, go get some PPL, call it a day. Guys, we work on that checklist every day. Also, do you have a team behind you? Do you know I have over 30 people on my team that help me on my program? Why? Because it takes an army to do this. The best people that teach any type of real estate have the best community. Not some private little hidden community where you pay X amount of dollars to get behind the firewall. Let me show you examples of exactly how that works. So if I show you this, let me bring this up. Let's see here. Oh, here's a community. Oh my God, look at these. Look at the daily updates of the wins I have on the people I work with. We have a group called Join M2M, which I'm going to explain in a minute, but look at this. These are daily updates that me and my team do. The people that I've trained, while people are teaching you one-on-one and they're doing their little deal, maybe them and their partner is, they're not going to have a big impact because they can only do so much. People only have so much time. So I've been secretly, me and Zach have been training people for 5 years. I've been training people for the last 15 years, but then they work under me. They're my business partners and make a ton of money with me. And I pay them on the success of these students. Check out this post right here. I can go up. These are real people. You go in our school group, go under freewholesaling.com. You're going to show the wins. Look at this. Angel, Camera, Antonio, all that. Who else has wins like this? It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. We spend a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of capital, and we are on a mission to train the most wholesalers in the entire industry. Now, me and Zach have always had the introduction. We bring in the most people in wholesaling. Now we're going to change how the game's played. If you guys are considering doing a wholesaling program, like, do you have wins like this? And this is my question to you. If you don't have that, it's going to be a problem for you. And the other thing is the power of the community. That community right there has 53,000 people in it. Oh, my coach has 17. Some of the best value we have are from people trying to motivate and get people working. So guys, our community, there's nothing even close to it. You're on the outside. If you're not, listen, you can work with whoever you want. Like if me and Zach ring a bell to you, then that's what I want you to do. But I'll put it up on my screen and we're going to take some questions here. Is we have an entire community built solely on winning. So I'll give you even a sneak peek. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. My team will probably kill me, but I'm going to do it here. So we have, let's see here. I mean, so if you look on here, this is our private school community. It has absolutely everything you could ever want on it. And we go through it every day. The entire team, we touch people every day. I've done Zoom for the last like 5 days. Like we're getting to the point where we're almost doing one every day. And we help people out. We answer messages. We get everything answered that day. And here's the beautiful part. When you're stuck on that deal and you go, Rick, can I get on the phone with you? Or can you answer a message? If it's not me, it's my right-hand person. It's either Zach or Evan or Corey, all these wonderful people I work with. And I got so many people coming up in it. And they said, listen, I will do whatever I can to work with you. Why? Because they know I will do anything to help a wholesaler out. So we're going to create a community that I can do a lot more than 30 people, guys. I think we can do amazing things. And the idea of the one-on-one instruction, it's great, but like it's very limited. They're trading their time for dollars. And I don't think anybody truly wants to do that in here. So I gave you kind of glimpses of how this works. It's simple. Now, I put up the guarantee. Here's the weird part. Most gurus, you got to put up 5 or 10 grand. We call it a deposit, call it a payment. I don't care what you call it. The bottom line is you have time to grow in our community. And guess what? If I'm lying to you or I'm not bringing the heat and I'm not doing exactly what I say, fire me. Oh, I just gave her $10,000. You can't fire that person. In fact, they'll go so far out of the way so you don't use like a Stripe account, because Stripe does not like big ticket, especially real estate coaches, that you're going to have to wire the money, mail a check, or do something. Why? Because they're never going to refund your money. You want a refund? Boom, pay it back. You sign up my program. If you got buyer's remorse in the first 24 hours, just take the money back. Now, you saw that checklist. I'm not playing around. I want to help people out. If you don't want to do the work, you are not getting a money back guarantee. If you do all the work and you give me everything I asked for, you won't fail. I'm so confident because you won't need your money back, because you'll have money in your bank from doing a deal. So for the first time ever, we're the only ones who ever offer a program with a money back guarantee. With complete transparency, you see actually how many members are in there. You see their success rate. You have a clear refund policy, and you go, crap, if it takes you a year, if that's what you need, I'll give it to you. You won't go broke doing it. You can finance it as you go. And you don't just get Rick and Zach, you get their entire team. People have been through the fight with you. Guys, we're on a movement like no one's even going to come near to what we do. We are the top school people by design. I have some of the youngest, most cutting edge kids. They're absolutely amazing. With my old school stuff, I just love it, because I know I'm going to be in wholesaling in the next 50 years. But you got people telling you wholesaling is going to die if you don't fund everything. Yes. Is it going to get more challenging? We'll find better ways to do it. So if you want a link, just go to joinm2m.com. And I'm telling you, we're talking about old school versus new school. I want you to understand, guys, you can do anything you want. Now, don't think because the program's low cost that like you can sit back and do nothing, get a money back return. You won't get your money back. You see that list? You can't fake it with me. Now, it does take some time to get stuff set up. And full disclosure, you have to have an X-Leads account. Why? Rick just wants us to buy his product. I do, but it's the only way I can keep you accountable, because you're going to sign an agreement. We're going to actually go in your X-Leads account and we do what we call an M2M pack. Oh my God. We give you an LMP, and an LMP is basically how we manage your leads, your listing management protocol. And we go through, and that way we know exactly what you're doing. And then when we do our reviews, which we do them basically twice a month, I know if you're putting in the work or not. Here's the problem. Your other coach, listen, if you pay him 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever, it's 3 grand. They really don't care if you do the work or not. I actually do. I do. Now, I do sit on Zoom with a lot of people, but they all understand what the mission is and what they're going to do. And they have so many points of contacts that you really can't go unanswered. But I'm not going to sit here and handhold people that don't want to do the work, because it will be a real problem. So, so the thing is, here's the challenge. I cannot track your other softwares. They're not built by wholesalers. They're different. And you'll have to make a decision on doing that. Because the problem is, if I make that exception, I know my success rate is going to go way down. Because when you tell me I can't get into my Deal Machine account, or, oh, by the way, Deal Machine doesn't have a CRM, so what are you going to do? PropStreams is completely different, but they don't have skip tracing. So how am I going to tell you to pull 30,000 skip trace if you can't get it, and it's going to cost you $1,000? Do you see? We get in this clash, and I believe that X-Leads is really the fundamental part of your success, because it gives you every tool you need to get done past the marketing dollars. The other thing is, like a homeless man is funny. I mean, guys, don't believe me. You can go in the communities. You can look at it. I put that post up in freewholesaling.com to show you the wins that we do. And we post that every week. So Raymond asked, Rick, is it just one deal, or can we stand there? You make the call, Raymond. I have put the chips on your side. You see, no other coach is going to do this, because they know once you figure their program out, you're going to want out. Or you do one deal and you're done. You might do one deal and go, man, I made 50 grand. I don't need Rick anymore. God bless you. If that's what you want to do. But honestly, you're going to find the value of my community and everything I do. I would give it 6 months to a year. It's still significantly lower than anybody else does there. I put out the guarantee and I do everything. And like for the first time, you guys are in control. If I don't deliver, fire me. At least you're not losing 10 grand. And my reputation is going to be destroyed if I can't deliver. So, Raymond, the choice is yours. For the first time, you have the choice. Now, don't come in and out of a month. I don't even want your money. It's a waste of my time and your time. And if you do that, I'm not going to give you a refund. The idea is you have to you have to spend some marketing dollars on this one. I can't take you from zero to hero with no money at all. Now, here's the beauty. You're not spending $5,000. We ask a minimum ad of about $500 a month when we do it. So, so like Dana puts it up here, because he knows exactly what my expectation is, and he puts it off, and like he tells it. And when people don't have their KPIs and stuff, I'm not going to kick you out, but I can go, hey, you didn't hit your numbers. Until you get on a consistent basis, we can't do it. So it's so funny. My money back guarantee is so, to me, it puts the power in your hand. But honestly, I tell you, if you don't do all this stuff, I won't give you your money back. So what I'm telling you is if you're not going to show up, you're going to lose your money. But I'm not taking $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 from you like all the other. Why do the gurus collect so much money up front? Because once you see the program, more than 70% of the people would bail in the first 30 days. And I know that. So no, I don't take any of your dispo. Now, I will tell you this. The one thing I do is we're working on a portal right now. They hopefully will have it done here soon in the next week. My M2M members and the people in the X-Plan, if they want to JV with us, and it's a great deal. It's got to be a great deal so we can split the money. Then I will partner up with those people. I don't know that I'm going to publicly do the thing I do on freeholesaling.com. It's just too time consuming. We do deals off of it, but like I want to make a lot more money, and I only have so much time in a day, and I can only do so many meetings. And the highest quality people are the ones that are trained, that know how to go out and find motivated sellers. So we don't share any deals. You keep them. We used to split them. So how I did this program is I ran 50 students for 2 years. Why? Because I test everything. Like I tell you, I don't throw courses together and collect the money and then figure it out later. And I said, you got to split your first 5 deals. I made on average about $50,000 with every person I did. You do the math. I put 50 people through it. Had a 95% success rate. The only people that weren't successful are the ones that decided to go around my back and do the deal. I knew it was going to happen. It was a test thing. So we decided, let's come up with a compromise where they pay a little bit, but they get the full rewards. And we're going to take the risk off of them and put it on us and make sure we bring the absolute best community we can put together. So that's what we wanted to do. And that's what I do. So today we talked about old school, new school. I'm going to go through some questions that I've highlighted here. And guys, you got to change. You have to change. Life is nothing but change. From the day you're born to the day you die, it's like every freaking day is a change. And if you fight it, you get stagnant. You know people like that. If you're not learning, you're dying. And I don't want anyone to die here, but let's make the best of this one while we got it. So do me a favor. If you're in a coaching community, I don't want you to leave. If you're in a program, just try to work it out. You've already paid. You're not getting your money back. You know that. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. So try to work with them. Don't go, Rick told me that. No, that's not my point. Just if I can get them to elevate your game to make you more productive, that's all I want to do with it. Does everybody understand that? Don't go fire your coach that you paid, what, 5, 7, 10 grand. That's not what I'm telling you. But I'm just telling you the disparity between those programs. I've had people pay between 25 and 50 grand that I've already ran just a couple of weeks through this. And they said yours is 100 times more effective than anything they ever did. I have a buy-in, man. My only people get paid when you guys are successful. So they push it. And we have to do that. So, okay, let me answer some questions. I had a crap load here. So Gilbert says he's looking for a mentor in California. So Gilbert, what I would do is I would go in freeholesaling.com and look for someone and let them know you're looking to help him. just be careful with this because you're going to get hammered by the gurus. I'm not going to hammer you. I'm going to help you out. So here's my suggestion. I would try to find someone local if you can do it. So try to find like a local meetup group or somebody you can connect with. And I think that's where you get your best bang for your buck. Keep in mind you have you can do M2M, join M2M.com. And remember, we're transparent on all our numbers. I can't get any of these numbers from anyone else. Not that I've ever really asked, and I don't expect people to give up private information. So once again, there's some people who lead and there's some people who follow. I don't follow anybody. How can I make you a better wholesaler? That's the only question I ever want to solve. And my ADHD in me is always going to cause me to do it. And think about with me and Zach, you get the best of both. You get old school and new school, and you get a community of such diverse people. It's absolutely amazing. And Zach, I get in trouble all the time because all I want to do is like talk to people and get to know them. And when I was in San Antonio, I lost my voice. And at the end, me and Zach were the last ones there. Listen to me. We were the last ones there. And we had the largest crowd taking pictures with us, autographs, the whole 9 yards. And it's all because you guys believe in what we do. And it's like, it's a testament. And a lot of other people stand around like, I don't understand these guys. No, I don't go to a ton of speaking events. Why? Because it's not, I enjoy the atmosphere. I just don't enjoy the head games that goes on with it. You guys are the only ones I care about. I see so many people new in wholesaling. You guys think they're so big. I'm like, some of these people haven't even done a wholesaling deal. I'm like, I don't even know why you take advice. Like, it just blows me away. And then I see people on stage and they're like trashing this person, that person. Like, that's a little much at these events. I didn't really expect that. It was interesting, but for the most part, I had a good time and I met a lot of great people, and that was good with it. So it was good. Brian says, "Hey, where do I send my deal?" So that's a good question, Brian. If you were in my M2M group, I would probably most definitely do the deal. But why don't you share some details of the deal and get me excited about it? Because I got to share it with you. I can't split like $3,000 and $5,000, guys. So, okay. BSB, bring your smiles back. I love that. World Smile Day. It should be every day like that. Are they really attempting to ban wholesaling in general? So this move is mostly by NAR and like the Realtor Association. But unfortunately, there's like influencers that in their wildest dreams, they said, because you guys do this, they're going to ban it. But these are the same people that take advantage of all the loopholes through assignments. And now they're turning around and basically telling these commissioners on how to do it. And then they tell you that, we need to band together and do that. I'm actually all for getting together, by the way. I've never been against it. But the minute I ask a question, Curious Rick gets in trouble with my ADHD. Where's the money going? And we ask specific questions to find out there's no structure. There's no nothing. We're just collecting money. So I always said start with the coaching program. So I've already started with my coaching program. So I challenge any people out there with a coaching program. Show us how many members you have, the success rate. Show us the wins every week. Show us your cost publicly. Oh my God. And once again, crickets, can't hear anything. And then me and Zach are really bad, because we teach wholesaling for free. And by the way, every one of you guys are freeloaders. You're cheap and you're terrible. These are the same people trying to sell you like cheap leads and all this other stuff. I don't get it. And by the way, my phone's always open. Any one of these people want to reach out and contact me, you all have my number. You'd be better off just coming directly to me than doing this little dance you guys do. It's cute. So, but are they really attempting it? They're trying to write legislation so they can't make wholesaling illegal because the assignment of contract is the number one play for banks and insurance companies. So if it was up to them, they would just ban assignments. But you can't. That's a multi-billion-dollar, probably trillion-dollar business between insurance companies and the banks. So what they do is they attack the equitable interest. And equitable interest is just when you basically enter into a contract and you have an agreement. You're not on title, but you have an interest in the property. They're trying to handcuff that you can't do anything with equitable interest, which is what we wholesalers do. Now, remember, we're never supposed to sell the property. We're supposed to sell the paper. So keep in mind, I created a software company to help you guys out. I gave you free skip tracing when everybody else charged it. I gave you free e-signing when nobody else would provide you any of this stuff. I give you 25,000 leads. Most people give you 10, maybe 15. I'm always going to give more. Like they can keep going this. I can play this game all day. I do it for you guys. I haven't not founded multiple software companies. There's people who've tried, oh, this one failed. Let's rebrand it. Let's do a new one. Oh, this one failed. Let's rebrand it. I've watched more influencers go through software companies of their own or affiliations. It's always the same outcome. That's why me and Zach decided, let's just cut from the pack and do what we do best, help out wholesalers. So they're going to write laws that are going to restrict your equitable interest when marketing the property and talking to sellers, and mostly disclosures with sellers, which I don't really have a problem with the disclosures. I've never had a problem with it. It's this knickknack like crap. Like somebody put out a video and said you can't wholesale in Tennessee anymore. That's one of my biggest states. I've never ever had a problem doing it. We know exactly what the law is. We follow it to a T. But you guys see a video, and now I got to discuss this answer again with you. So once again, guys, my phone number, like if somebody needs to get a hold of me and you want to talk to me, that's it. Please stop this. Like, let's stop telling everybody everything's illegal. Let's stop telling wholesalers they're cheap and they're terrible. We all started from this. Yes, can you do more than wholesaling? Absolutely. It never stops. But for God's sakes, why don't you give due to the business that truly made you who you are? I don't care if you're a girl, a guy, whatever it is. Wholesaling is amazing. I think we should have like wholesaling awards for the newbies and the old schoolers to bring us all together. Like you have it for like the Hollywood industry. It just drives me nuts when they're doing it. But the banning now, they're trying restrictions and they're trying to discourage you. And if you believe everything you see on the internet, you basically can't do assignments anymore and you have to fund everything. Doesn't matter, guys. You can ban whatever you want. There's 3,000 ways to take down a deal. That's how wholesaling was invented. Just the word wholesaling's been scarred, and the people that took advantage of it and now that teach it are telling you that, oh, you can't do it anymore. It's terrible. It's not terrible. And I'm tired of people saying, oh, this is just a beginner rookie strategy. I go, no, there's people doing this and making millions of dollars. It's not as a beginner as they make it sound. Now, I'm preference to wholesaling. I'm biased. I think fixing flipping is nothing more than pure speculation. It's an enormous risk. It takes enormous capital, and not everyone's cut out for it. It's not, to me, I don't get a rush from fix and flip because it's a very slow process. And you have to take a risk. It's kind of like gambling, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Wholesaling is the farthest thing from gambling you'll ever do. It's like, I know exactly where that ball is going to land on, red or black, and I know it's going to land on black. But that's what wholesaling is. Fix and flip, I got an idea I'm going to make money, but if a global thing breaks out, I'm in trouble. If the economy crashes, I'm in trouble. If supply shoots up, I'm in trouble. There's so many things outside of your factor, and that's what I want you to. I did fix and flip for like heavily for 2 years after we got hit with 2 hurricanes, and I did really well. And then the last 5 properties I got destroyed on. Why? The market churned, and I'm not in control, and that's why I want you guys to understand that. So. Let's see here. Wayne puts up, Wayne, Rick, I'm old school. I dove in the AI, started building my own platform. And then I saw what you guys did, and now I'm all in with you guys, and a phenomenal job. So Wayne kind of understands that us old schoolers, sometimes it takes someone to light a fire on you to go, okay, we got to change. And my son gave me that wake up call, and I wish more old school influencers would wake up and stop telling everyone that all wholesalers are bad and you're going to ban it and you have to fund it. Guys, I love anybody who gets involved in real estate. And just because I think differently, I don't hate anybody in this business. I love it. And for the I got along with everybody in San Antonio. We just had a blast. I've met people, I've seen them online. I've never met them. There's like their story's amazing. Our story's amazing. And I think we should build each other up instead of just kind of keep taking each other down. But if you're going to sell the wholesalers, you might want to support wholesalers. That's just my message. Anybody out there is going to do it. I'm never going to change, man. I love this business. There's nothing better than wholesaling. It is the spark. I do every other thing, but I always run back to wholesaling because I love it. I love creative financing. I think it's just being overplayed today. People are being So many sellers are being chased with creative financing. It's called creative financing retail. And I buy a lot of properties from people that go out and chase all these deals down. And guys, listen, creative financing is great, but keep in mind it is debt, and you have to leverage debt smartly. So either you use the bank or you use the homeowner, but either way, you have an obligation and you have to pay them. So it's not going to just make that go away. So, oh boy, I didn't see that comment. So yeah, guys, I'm never going to do solar and roof. You don't have to worry about that because it's going to take away from what we do. So guys, I put it on the bottom. If you have interest in it, go to joinm2m.com. I got to jump on with my M2M people. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be on that live stream. Guys, go check out our wins. Look at everything, but make sure you are incorporating the old school philosophy, meaning the fundamentals, with the new school. And there's no way you can't win in wholesaling. So guys, I appreciate it. Listen, if you got value from today, do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me. It's one of the best compliments you can give me. Listen, guys, get the message out. I love everybody in wholesaling. Even if you do not like Rick, I respect you. I love you. And you got to understand, we're all in this together. We got to start supporting each other. At some point, maybe we all need together have a conference and help each other, because we're honestly, everyone's trying to help everybody. We have different ways. We just got to find ways. I don't think any of you guys are cheap. I think you guys are amazing. And if everybody got their start in wholesaling, let's not keep stepping on it. There's not one better way to do other. The more tools you have in your chest, the more deals you can do. And I just love this business. I always will. I always have. And I am blessed to do this with my son. I love it to death. So I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on the M2M live stream. Join me over there. Check it out, joinm2m.com. I appreciate